Today we're setting off in a northeasterly direction to Palmyra. This will take us halfway across the country in an east-west view. This will take us into the desert area, although I agree with our guide, it's more of a steppe than a desert. Palmyra can be dated back to the Neolithic age, when man settled and farmed the lands around the springs there. In pre-Roman times, Palmyra was the seat of a minor chief. The Nabatean capital of Petra was the main caravan stop for caravans coming from throughout the east. In 106 AD, Trajan annexed the Nabatean kingdom. It's time for a tea break now, so we've stopped at Baghdad Cafe. We're actually at our nearest point to Iraq here. Now, this is the owner's residence, not the actual cafe, with a Bedouin tent nearby. I understand that the chicken dishes at this cafe are quite fresh. Now, I don't normally photograph the facilities at places we visit, but this one is the first one I've ever seen where the gentleman's standing area was provided with toilet rolls. Two of our ladies managed to get off with one of the local Arabs. After the Romans took over, Palmyra became one of the main stops for caravan trains between the east and Antioch.
The Iraqi border far from here, 152 kilometers.
We're arriving at Palmyra shortly, and we're going to look first at some of the funerary towers as indicated on that map there. You'll see some here a bit badly weathered.
Panoramic view to Roman city.
Oh look, there's a camel. Whoops. Yeah, I think we managed to shake him off there. Yes, as we said, some of them are badly weathered over the centuries, but the one we're going to look at has been renovated a little, I think. Now, what we saw inside was very similar, obviously, to one they had in the National Museum, which had obviously been brought in from this area. The bodies were slid into these spaces on a rack, very much like a filing cabinet, I suppose, and the arrangement there at the end is very much like one that we saw in the museum. I understand that each tower belonged to a certain family. Quite nearby, an underground chamber was discovered by a party of Germans when their tourist bus fell through it. We'll go next to see the town area, but before actually going into the town we'll have a look at the Temple of Bel, which is just there. So I'm told that all this area that we're now in was the Temple of Bel, going right over there to the main entrance. Central temple there. And right over to there. Yes, they certainly built their temples big in those days. It's worth remembering that the Umayyad mosque that we were in Damascus was built inside the inner part of the old temple there. In a similar situation to that at Bosra, this courtyard housed a small town of about 50 houses until the French removed it in 1926. The central temple that we saw there was built in AD 32. It replaced a Hellenistic temple, which itself was constructed on a sacred toll dating back to the Bronze Age. Most of the standing things we see here have been reconstructed following earthquakes and other vandalism. It looks as though there's a lot more to do yet, looking at all these spare pieces here.